Ever seen a sci-fi film or TV series and hoped for some of those futuristic gadgets to be real? Well, a surprising fact is that a few of them are, and they're truly remarkable. Let's explore 10 of the most awesome fictional gadgets that have become reality. Number 10. Robot maids. Now let's move on to another childhood favorite, the Jetsons. Although they live in the year 2062, we're already seeing some of their luxuries appearing in our homes. Think about this little guy sweeping the rug. It's a wireless self-propelled vacuum cleaner. I'm not sure what they called it in the show, but today we call them Roombas. While they work well to both vacuum and mop floors, they're most commonly seen in videos with costume cats riding on them. But if vacuuming robots doesn't excite you, how about one that mows the lawn on your schedule and then returns the charge itself without being told? There are a surprising number of automatic lawnmowers you can now buy that will do just that. Keeping the grass trimmed just got a whole lot easier. Still not impressed. What if I told you that you could have a robot maid? Maru is just one example of some robots that are being created today by various companies with the intention of them being able to work around the house. Even Amazon is working on their own robot to assist you around the house. Within a few years, there will be housekeeping robots in homes. They'll be pouring us drinks and then washing the dishes afterwards. Sounds like a sweet deal to me. Number 9. Vertical and horizontal elevators. Remember how cool that elevator was in Willy Wonka? They could go in literally any direction. I certainly do, and now I'm excited about the fact that this elevator will soon exist in real life. As of now, there's only a prototype that has been created, but there are plans to begin incorporating these sideways elevators in new buildings. The main purpose of the elevator cars moving sideways is to be able to have multiple cars on one track. The cable elevators, which we're all familiar with, can only have one elevator per shaft. However, if cars can move sideways and don't rely on cables to suspend them, then you can have several per shaft. That means you won't have to wait long for an elevator, as there will likely be one available when you need it, and you can go to exactly the point in the building you want to without having to walk. These elevator cars work with powerful magnets and motors attached to the cars themselves that allow them to move up and down and from side to side along the elevator shafts. While there's still a lot of testing that needs to be done to ensure that these are completely safe and ready for humans to use, it's exciting to know that they do already exist. Number 8. Scanadu. If you hate doctor's visits as much as the next person, you probably wish that the medical tricorder from Star Trek existed so you could avoid all the pokes and uncomfortable medical tests. If it did exist, then the doctor could just scan you and figure out what was wrong with you in seconds. Well, I've got some good news for you. It does exist. Though still in the early stages of production, the Scanadu can tell your blood pressure, temperature, heart rate, and blood oxygen levels within seconds. It's an incredibly simple and painless way for anyone to check their own vital signs. This same company is also working on a device that can perform a urinalysis in a minute, which can allow you to check for infections, measure kidney functions, and monitor other health conditions such as diabetes. Soon we'll be able to carry around an entire medical team in our back pockets. Number 7. Self-lacing shoes. Although the so-called hoverboards we have today may be a bit of a disappointment, as they're nothing like the ones in the second installment of Back to the Future, self-lacing shoes are another gadget from that franchise that do not disappoint. You can get them in a wide variety of styles and colors, but my favorite are the ones made by Nike that are directly inspired by the movie. There's a sensor on the sole of the shoe, which senses when you've put the shoe on and automatically tightens it to the perfect fit. If you want a pair, however, they come with a hefty price tag, as these limited edition shoes are being sold for an average of $41,000. Number 6. Talos. Jumping into a completely different genre. We move on to Talos. If you thought those guys in plastic working Iron Man suits were awesome, wait until you hear about these battle suits. The Tactical Assault Light Operator suits are designed with the soldier in mind, like Iron Man suits. Talos consists of a robotic exoskeleton that provides the wearer with extra strength while monitoring their vital signs. It's also bulletproof and helps the person be more aware of their surroundings, although it'll be a few years before it's ready to be tested on the battlefield. This will definitely give the user an advantage. Apparently, the first independently operational combat suit prototype will be delivered in July of this year, so let's hope it's as good as advertised, or the estimated $80 million DARPA spent on the project might have been a waste. Number 5. Heat ray. Guns that fire off energy surges and heat rays have often been seen in science fiction movies, TV shows, and books, but now they've been brought to life. The heat ray's real-life counterpart is officially called the active denial system, and it uses concentrated microwaves to create severe discomfort in those it's aimed at. It creates what the military calls an intolerable heating sensation that makes people instinctively move away from the beams. That's why it's perfect for crowd control. Securing a perimeter or protecting a convoy at up to half a mile away, according to its creators, it's completely safe and doesn't have a lasting negative impact on your health. Even so, I do not want to be on the receiving end of this thing. Number 4. Facial recognition advertising. If you've ever seen the movie Minority Report, you'll remember the scene where he is running through the mall and advertisements are changing just for him as cameras everywhere are scanning his face. What you may not realize is that this technology is not only already in place, but it's being actively used by multiple companies. For example, a children's charity called Plan UK used interactive billboards at bus stops to scan a viewer's face to tailor the content shown on screen for each viewer. Obviously, this is the technology in its most primitive stage, as it only distinguished between men and women. But imagine how personalized the responses could get if you utilized all of Facebook's facial recognition data. Honestly, this is a little bit scary. After all, it's being used for advertising right now, but what else could this technology be used for in the future? This is something that seems dangerous in the wrong hands. Number 3. AirTouch screens. Let's visit another piece of technology that comes out of the Minority Report. AirTouch screens, also known as virtual touch screens or gesture-based user interfaces. It's possible to control a computer without having to touch anything. This is great news for people that love technology and an absolute godsend to germaphobes everywhere. It works by having two pieces of technology work together, a special pair of glasses that allows a user to see the screen and a camera that tracks movement at the exact distance that the screen is displayed. There's so many industries where this technology can be used, and I, for one, am super excited to see where this goes. Number 2. Flying hoverbikes. Now let's move on to one of the most well-known science fiction movie series of all time, Star Wars. And how could we not be a little jealous when Luke and Leia jump onto speeder bikes to fly through the woods? It looks like so much fun, except maybe for the stormtrooper part. Well, hang on tight, because this technology could be available to you sooner than you think. Although the military gets first dibs, there is a flying hoverbike that has been successfully created. However, this real-life science fiction gadget is powered by something incredibly mundane: propeller fans. That's right. Powerful propeller fans keep this vehicle off the ground and can even lift it up to 15 feet in the air. You may be disappointed in the seeming simplicity of this device, but actually hover technology is still a long way off. Although there have been some advancements made with hovering devices powered by magnets, these are still highly impractical because they rely on the surface beneath them being some type of metal. The air-powered hover bike, on the other hand, works on any surface and has stabilizing technology that keeps you upright. Before I reveal the most amazing example, I'd like to remind you to subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. We upload amazing fact-filled videos daily. Also, make sure to click that bell icon to stay updated, or you'll regret on missing out on some amazing knowledge that could have filled your brain. Now let's get back to it. Number 1. Lightsabers. Last but certainly not least are lightsabers. These incredible weapons used by the Jedi and Sith in Star Wars actually exist in real life, although they still need some work to function exactly like the ones in the movies do. Some modern lightsabers are more practical than anything, but others are unbelievably cool. First up is a high-pressure water hose that will save lives. It was developed with firefighters in mind and allows them to cut right through metal and brick to get water into a burning building. This technology makes it safer for both the firefighters and anyone who may be inside the building. As cool as this is, it's also a little scary to think just how powerful water can be. It's the closest real-life thing to Qui-Gon cutting through the door. There's also a plasma cutter, which uses the elusive fourth state of matter to slice through pretty much anything. These are far from a myth and can even be purchased on Amazon. I can't think of a single thing I would do with this, but I'm pretty sure I need one of these. Look at it, it cuts through metal like it's nothing. Okay, so right now you're probably thinking that those aren't real lightsabers. Fair enough, but before you leave a nasty comment, check out these DIY lightsabers that come really close to the real thing. This lightsaber was built by Hacksmith. It's technically a proto-saber and uses an electrified metal rod to create enough heat to be able to cut through nearly anything. The gadget has to be connected to a battery pack with a cable because it requires so much power to heat the rod that they can't pack everything into the handle. As you can see, it works very much like the ones in the movies do. To put it simply, you do not want to be on the wrong side of this weapon. Here's another lightsaber. This one was built by Alan Pan and works more like ones from the movies as the blade comes out of the handle when you're ready to use it. It's essentially a high-powered lighter and uses methanol and alcohol along with butane to create a blade of fire. Although it doesn't do as much damage as the other homemade lightsaber, it certainly looks legit, and let's be honest, less damaging is probably a good thing. Now I want to hear from you. Which one of these was your favorite? What fictional gadgets do you hope to see brought to life in the near future? Comment down below to let me know your thoughts, and thanks for watching.